there is a thread on Twitter that I might read out.
Yeah? What's it about?
It's about a dead cat.
Oh, maybe I don't want to do that.
Maybe not.
Is it sad, or does it have a happy ending? Well,
it doesn't
dead
really
cat,
have
right? What am I on about? You know, I mean, did someone get something positive from it?
I think people got a lot
Was
of
it an
laughs
horrible
from it.
cat?
It deserved it.
Yeah.
Had it coming. Well, I'll read and we can be the judge of that.
Okay. Shall I put it in the bit that says "lols" here?
Yeah. In the fun section.
Right. Should we go?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to episode 67 of I'm Fine, the chat between myself, Damo, and the only person I'm willing to hang out with who finds no joy in farts. Mark.
Have you checked then that all your other friends
I don't need to check.
enjoy?
I think I'm pretty sure they
Well,
find
I had
joy
some
in
feedback
farting.
about someone saying to me, I don't think Damien's bit about everyone enjoying their own farts in the car was either relevant or true.
Who? Come on.
I don't know. I've forgotten.
This is someone you hang out with.
Someone with
What,
taste.
suddenly said we're not relevant, or I'm not relevant, or my story about farts wasn't
This
relevant.
podcast isn't relevant. So.
Right, that was pretty... All right, just sweeping...
Yeah, we're going back to
feedback.
80s humour.
Right.
Come back to Jim Bourne. I should have saved that for today. I
You
wish
should
I
have
hadn't
done. You
done
did
it.
a whole skit this morning at training, didn't you? You acted
Step
out a
by
whole
step.
episode of Bullseye.
What do you get
All
from
the
your
voices.
PT?
It was very good. It was very good. This is a chat around the subjects of health, wealth, well-being, fitness, blood, guts and glory. We're all work in progress and this podcast is no exception. In short, it's a poke at our perfectly imperfect lives. And if we can make just one person feel like they're not alone in all this madness, then our work here is done. Make sure you subscribe to us in your podcast app and follow us on the socials by searching for I'm Finecast. And please do drop us in. We're out for time, Mark? So
I'll tell you-
rude.
no, that wasn't.
So rude.
It wasn't.
It was. You literally drew your sleeve halfway up your arm to check your watch.
I was checking my forearm.
Or just because you're
can.
flexing.
Yeah. No, I was checking my heart.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Good. And please drop us an email at imfinecast@gmail.com to see if Mark's okay. And we'll send you a picture of his arm if you're interested. Let's just send No, that's really bad, isn't it? Let's just send pictures, parts of your body.
My scar. My new scar from tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Are you going to get a scar?
Yeah.
It's all keyhole these days.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You won't even know. You won't even see where it's gone in.
I'll ask for a scar
It's
then.
not-
Can you just slash me with a machete afterwards? I get more
Yeah.
sympathy in life.
So coming up in this episode, warm up and stretch, catch up and bookmarks. In work-life ballet, we've got accountability. And in brain food, we have Are We Being Too Nice?
I've mentioned to you a few times listening to Shagged, Married, Annoyed. And I think one of the things that I'm finding with podcasts, and I was thinking about this, now we've gone to one episode, you know, I'm sort of very stats minded. And I was looking at our sort of coverage and I think...
Has it ruined our stats, Mark?
No, I think...
Has it made them better?
I've come to the conclusion if we put out 1 a week or 7 a week, we'd have the same number of people listening.
Oh, I don't know. That's a stretch, isn't it? One a day?
Well, okay, maybe say
You know what I
4 a
mean?
week then.
Okay.
I've already had
So
reports of
the more
withdrawal
we
symptoms.
right, I was going to come to this.
Okay.
So the more episodes we do, the less audience we have.
No.
So in theory, you're okay. So if the more episodes we have, the more listens we're going to get. Because if our audience size stays the same, they'll all be
The
listening.
average is going to be the same, but the time span will be different. So if we have 1 a week
Right.
and everyone catches up, because
Yeah.
obviously some people go back, like I was looking at stats, some people have gone back to the beginning. So like the first 5 had gone up. Somebody's
Such a
obviously...
nerd.
I know. But the situation is when everyone catches up, and it'll be easier to catch up when it's once a week,
Yeah.
then the figure is going to be the same as whether we'd gone 2 or 3 or 4 a week. We'll just get to that figure quicker
Right.
because people start catching up and then go, I'm up to date with that. I'm waiting for the next one.
Right.
Yeah, so the listens are the same, which means we've got a constant audience, whether we put 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's just, I'm going to do something here. This isn't linked to anything, but I don't know where we're going to drop this in. This is part 2 of a series of Isn't the English Language Interesting?
Right.
And if you remember a few weeks ago, we had the plurals.
Yeah.
Because we're multinational, we're internationalists.
We are. Yeah.
And the vagaries of English language is important. So I'm going to
What
give
there is?
the vagaries.
The vagaries.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that part of this? Just throwing in the word vagary?
No, that was just you'd use the word.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
I don't even know what it means. It sounds like a tramp. Is it not? I don't know.
This happens every time.
What happens?
I say a word and then...
Well, I haven't heard it before. The vagary, it's a lovely word.
The sort of...
you have a lovely vocab, and I've said it before.
Is it like, not necessarily the eccentricities, but more the funny nuances, the funny differences?
Yeah.
So we said it on the plurals, didn't we? That just putting an S. So I'm going to do the same thing. Is that when they invented the language, they decided, because people were going to...
They? Who's they?
The English language people,
teachers.
the committee.
Right.
And they decided that they didn't want to call animals... They were going to have names for the food of the animal. Let me explain it better.
Please do, because
for a pig, rather than them saying, we're going to have some pig for tea, they went, we'll call it pork. Okay.
Right.
So rather than going to have some deer, we're going to have some venison. Okay. You're getting where I'm going now. So you're going now. One. So rather than have cow, we'll have beef. Yeah. So in this little video,
I like this game.
So this little video I saw said, okay, can I put some forward? And the guy goes, yeah, of course. So he went, turkey. Well, that's turkey. Okay. But chicken. Well, that's another bird. Yeah, chicken. He said, don't keep doing birds. Okay. Lamb. It's like, how does that come that lamb is lamb when you eat it and pig is pork when you eat it?
Yeah, it's a good one. Oh, you don't have the answers.
No, just the vagaries.
Right. You're all about the vagaries, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we trained this morning, didn't we, Mark?
Yeah.
I haven't put my positive comment in, but you look marvellous without a hat.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And have you had your hair cut professionally since we last commented on it? Or is it all just grown back?
I've just washed it. Yes.
And combed it.
It's almost like it's caught up with itself, hasn't it? The bits that were lagging behind.
Yeah, it's all kind of even now.
Yeah, they've tried harder.
Or have you done comb overs, but in lots of different areas? Sorry to your daughter. So we trained this morning. And you said you missed you just touched on that, didn't you? You missed the Tuesday pod. You kind of, you did a little sad face like a little baby this morning. Yeah. You actually did a little face, like, all sad.
Well, normally it would be Monday night, waiting up for you to do the edit.
Yeah.
Listening.
Yeah.
Falling asleep during half of it.
Yeah.
Getting up early Tuesday morning, listening before we train.
To all again, or the bit you didn't?
The bit I fell asleep through, and then see you on the Tuesday and be full of excitement. And it wasn't. It was just a void.
All right. Even when I turned up.
No.
Or did I fill the void?
You filled the void. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. One of the emails.
Amply. That's a bastard thing to say.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I will put the time. I'll make sure the timing's a lot better in the edit. So no one realises there's 30 seconds before you get
got the joke. Yeah.
I'm going to do one of the emails now, if I may,
Fire.
because it's relevant. Because we were censored, remember? In the last podcast, I said our podcast on YouTube had violated the terms and conditions concerning misinformation around COVID on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I appealed with your name on it, if you remember rightly. You're fucking wrong. Cheers, Mark, I think what I put. So we had a response, and I did put it on Instagram. So this isn't new for some of our Instagram followers, but we received a message from YouTube saying, we have reviewed your appeal for the following content, which was episode 63, Sables are cute until one rips your face off. We have reviewed your content carefully and have confirmed that it violates our medical misinformation policy. We know this is probably disappointing news. But it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. To which your answer was...
I've got a bit of an admission. So,
what?
No, when I wrote that Insta story, it was the point was if you can have paedophiles, you can have extreme violence, you can have blah, 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 then I still don't even know what we said about vaccines. I've listened back. I don't think we even...
Honestly, we didn't say anything about vaccines. We talked about passports.
I'm not anti-vax.
No.
I'm pro-choice, but I'm not anti-vax.
No, you're not, no. But I think we said that we were talking about the vaccine passport, and you were saying that I can't see how a passport is going to basically kind of save anyone.
Yeah.
I think it was something along those lines, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It
doesn't reduce the risk.
No, per se. That was it. That was literally it. We've said a lot worse and had stronger opinions in plenty of other pods. So
which makes the point that what else is get taken down, doesn't it?
Which you made on the last pod, yeah, you're absolutely right, yeah.
The mistake I made, bearing in mind that I was saying to you about how TikTok is basically mind-reading us, and we might allude to those in a minute, was the fact I should have been more circumspect when I did a little check on YouTube. So I put into YouTube, how to build a bomb search, and I'm now thinking, bearing in mind YouTuber watching us along with Instagram, I maybe shouldn't have gone how to build a bomb
okay.
and then watch the video.
There's plenty of things on there how to build a bomb, isn't there?
Yeah, but I don't want to necessarily.
No, but there is. That's my point. There is.
Yeah.
Is that what literally?
But I've just joined the list of people that have searched how to build a bomb.
They tagged you years ago, Mark. Don't worry about that. Feds have been all over you.
Yeah.
There's videos up like that we can go and watch now if you want.
Yeah.
Probably how to get some, weed killer and make a bomb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had an opinion about something and we got taken down. It's quite redonkulous, isn't it?
But going back to your earlier thing, it's their platform. They can do what they like.
They can absolutely do what they like.
They're a load of fuckers.
Yeah. You'll be pleased to know, Mark, that I went on my bike this
Good.
weekend.
That does please me.
Yes, I thought it would, because you've been having a right go at me these last few weeks. So we're going to do this exercise, Damo, because it will help you when you go on your bike. We're going to do this now, Damo, because it'll help you when you get on your bike. When you get on your bike, you're going to be much... All right, Mark, I get the message. Jesus, let it go. You're absolutely right. I wanted to go on my bike, and I did, and I'm glad I did.
Good.
So I was cycling off down here with my wife on our bikes, and we got onto the bus lane, which is a bus lane and a bike lane and a taxi lane. Hold that thought. We were two abreast, right? We heard out of nowhere someone shout, clearly out of a vehicle, because it's obviously coming from a vehicle, because you have that noise. Yeah. Someone shouted, a man shouted at us, "Single file!" So I got a little message from the man. I don't know who he was, and I wish I'd kind of taken
I'm sure
a note.
He's listening.
Yes.
The car? Did you catch the car?
No, well, he was in a work van, but I couldn't catch the name of the van. I wish I had, because I'd looked him up and I'd have sent him a stern email.
Yeah, well, have a word with me. I know how to build a bomb.
God, don't.
Take him out properly.
No, don't say that. No.
Okay.
This wasn't going on YouTube either, is it? So I just had a little message for that fella.
Yeah.
It's perfectly legal for cyclists to ride two abreast on the road. So when you are off on a spin with your friends, feel free to cycle side by side. However, the highway code states that you can't ride more than two abreast. So more than two.
So 3.
Yeah, you get the picture. Well done. Glad you're the numbers man. And you can't do it.
4.
Yeah, do you want to keep going?
No.
Okay. And you can't do it when it... Stop it. You're doing it with your hands. Stop it. And you can't do it when on narrow roads or when cycling around bends.
Yeah.
Because I think that's just sensible advice.
Yeah. Is that the highway code?
Yeah.
Cool.
Like I just said, it was...
Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
You weren't listening. You were too busy taking the piss, weren't you? So
word to him.
Yeah. So shove that up your ass and smoke it.
And you're only as wide as a bus or a taxi. The point I was going to make is I don't understand why... So, okay, I'm going to put the open question to you. Why are taxis allowed in bus lanes?
I don't know. Is this a joke? So
to run the chicken over that's crossing the road. No. So... Think about this. A bus lane is to increase the number of people that take public transport so that one vehicle is carrying up to 50 people.
Correct, yeah.
Bicycles are encouraged to use bus lanes and given that incentive because they're not polluting the atmosphere.
Yes.
A taxi driver has one guy most of the time
or a girl
driving around.
Women can go in taxis as well now.
A guy covers both for me.
Okay, well, I'm just at, just the balance.
A guy or gal.
I'm a yin, the yin to your yang.
So a driver a lot of the time will be just by himself, herself, themselves.
We've established it's a guy.
Okay, let's give him a name. So Alan is in the taxi by himself.
That doesn't help.
All Alan. So this is confusing. This was clear in my head. So he's driving by himself.
Yes.
So that isn't sharing
so he hasn't
pollution.
got a fare. Is that what we're saying?
He then picks up a fare, which quite often will be, especially during the day, a single person from the bus station or a similar transport hub. So there's then 2 people in a car.
Yeah,
but it's
your
also...
maths is on fire today, honestly.
Yeah, they're 2 abreast. Yeah. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that still isn't necessarily the best use of why they get the privilege of that.
Yeah.
No,
and I'm on that. I'm on with you because if there's 3 lanes, 2 of them are for normos like us, 1 is for taxis.
Yeah.
Why don't we all use 3 lanes and we all get to work quicker? Everybody gets to work quicker, all because we're all using the lanes. That doesn't make any sense. Build the lanes and then use half of the lanes or 2/3 of the lanes for everybody else and have a lane which is completely empty most of the time, but we could all be using that lane. And so, for example, the one about Bradley Stoke has a left filter, so you don't even have to stop for the lights. It left filters into the dual carriageway and off you go. Most people just want to turn left and get on the dual carriageway.
But they have to queue up.
Yeah, just let them go. And that's what all the queues are for. It doesn't make any sense. It's like traffic lights and all roundabouts. Don't get me started.
God, that was boring. I'd take all of that crap.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Because it's all your stuff.
Yeah, I'm not.
After man shouted at me, just on a lighter note, there was a couple with a refuse bag each and a little grabber, and they're picking up rubbish.
Great.
On a Sunday morning.
Yeah. It is quite a thing now, isn't it?
It was really, really good. So I was kind of I was cycling thinking, I just had that guy go, that knobhead, give me grief. And I just, that kind of countered that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Almost instantaneous. This kind of, you turn around, this guy was doing it, but I gave him the thumbs up. I didn't want to stop and make a big deal, but I just did a nod and a...
To the litter collectors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went back and I thought, nice.
No, that's good.
So whoever you are,
and
I'm sure he's listening.
Shout out. I'm sure he is.
Thanks for that.
Mr. Womble.
Yeah, Uncle Bulgaria. Do you want to talk about dead cats? Where do you want to go now?
Let's go dead cats.
Okay. Let's just lift the spirit, shall we?
I think it's funny, but I'll let you be the judge of that. So this was posted by Kimberly Griffiths, and the name on Facebook. I don't know this. Yeah, this was Facebook.
What are you doing on Facebook, Mark?
No, I wasn't. I don't do Facebook.
You're on it. You got an account?
Yeah, but I'd never go on it. This was someone had tweeted this.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just checking.
So this is from Kimberly Griffiths, 50 Shades of Halifax. I don't quite know what that means.
Right.
So this is Kimberly. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I've just found a cat in the road. It has been hit by a car and has died. I'm looking for its owner, so if anyone up High Road Well Lane or nearby is missing a black and white cat, I think it's male, please could you contact me? Or if anyone knows how to dispose of a dead cat, not belonging to myself, that'll also be helpful information. Thanks in advance. I'm thinking, Kimberly, you just go the first one.
Yeah.
Has anyone lost a cat?
Yeah.
You then don't have to think of the disposal of it.
No.
Or give it a couple of days and then repost the disposal.
Yeah. She's got a filter problem there, hasn't she?
Yeah.
A typing
She's
based
jumping
one.
ahead. Yeah.
unless that, the typing app on her phone just takes her brainwaves.
Predictive text. Yeah. Found dead cat, predictive text, how to bury.
Yeah.
So this was shared 13 times. And then someone called Philippe.
13
shares, yeah.
Okay, right. It's big stuff then in Halifax.
But there's also 10 emoji. You see, I don't do Facebook. There's 10 crying emojis.
Crying with laughter or actually
proper crying.
Okay.
Out of the corner of the eye. So there's been some... Well, no, sometimes people put the wrong emoji for crying, don't they? They put the sweating one for crying.
Yeah, it does look like a little tear. Sometimes you want a little sob, don't you? Yeah, it is the sweating one. Yeah, I've fallen foul of that.
So Philippe says... Does he answer to the name Tomo? This isn't a joke one.
Right.
This is don't go, oh, someone's being funny. It isn't. This is.
I think the answer would be no.
Mine has been missing 2 days now. He's usually an indoor cat. Danielle pops up. It won't answer to anything as it's dead. Okay, Danielle, I think you've been helpful to Philippe, but maybe is too much information. He would have come to that.
You've made him look a bit silly as well. No need. This sounds like 50 Shades of Halifax is probably a community-based forum, is it?
It could be a local neighbourhood. Yeah. So Philippe's come back and apologised with a very strange emoji. You don't know what it is. Oh, sorry, I see. Philippe's grammar and English aren't great. I don't think English is his first language.
With the way you're pronouncing his name, you say I would argue he's French.
His name is Philippe Skolodoska. Oh, sorry, I see. You got picture of when he was alive. I can see if it's my cat.
Yeah.
He's asked Kimberly.
Mm-hmm. So she's found a dead one. Have you got any pictures of when he was alive? He's doing...
In case... I think Philippe's thinking, if you took a picture when he was alive, I can check if he's my cat.
Clearly he didn't feel stupid enough the first time round, did he?
Yes.
He's gone for seconds.
But Kimberly didn't make it clear. I was playing with a cat. I chucked it in front of a car.
You're right. She didn't state whether she...
I found it dead when I'd,
Yeah. I was having a selfie with a cat.
Yeah.
And I
was doing some tricks with a steamroller. Next thing I know. So Andy Thomas has come in. An interesting... Andy Thomas's little thumbnail is of a black and white cat. So I'm thinking,
right,
now we're making progress. Andy goes, why would you take a picture of the dead cat? She hasn't. No, Andy, keep up.
This is how awful rumours start.
Yeah. Surely you would put up a pic of... This is to Philippe.
Yeah.
Surely you would put up a pic of your cat, then ask the question, is it this one? This would be much quicker and cause no distress to everyone on Facebook having to look at a poor, defenceless, dead pet. Again, Andy, let's leave the deadness.
We got the message.
Yeah, you didn't need to put that in. Emma, trying to help, because obviously feeling
she sounds
Philippe's
like a reasonable
person. With a picture of a grey and white cat in her thumbnail, said, How would she have a photo of it when it was alive? She's just found the poor cat dead. I mean, welcome to the party, Emma. And Philippe, with a slight bit of irritation and no emojis. Yes, sorry, I realise. It's like you can feel the shouting. So Philippe goes, I've been found out. I know the point.
Right.
I think we know where we are now.
I'm trying to help. It's not clearly.
Yeah. Philippe has then come back an hour later. It's all gone quiet.
Right.
I think he's been sad.
Oh.
My cat is not here, so I can't take a picture. I will take one if he comes home. Again, Philippe, you are missing some of the points here. You've lost your black and white cat. If he does come back...
There's so much logic, yet so little.
It all makes sense. So if my cat walks in the door, I'll take a picture, send it.
We're fine with that.
And ask if this is the same as the dead cat. Bless him. Philippe goes quiet for a bit.
Oh.
This is all within 4 minutes, all these.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, this has been the best thread ever. Again, I don't like people, profiting from people's loss. I'm only reporting it for people to make their own opinion.
Of course, you are.
Stephen, this has been the best thread ever. And then very quickly, apart from the dead cat thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Chris Murgatroyd Sr., I was just going to say that, laughing face. Then someone just randomly says a person's name. And then I get a feeling that there's a bit of calm and people are maybe just thinking, we're talking about a dead cat here. Let's just, not be typical Facebook people. So Leon Marie Lewis goes, Leona, Philippe, when your cat went missing 2 days ago, did you do a Facebook post including a photo asking if anyone has seen your cat? A little bit patronising.
A little bit loaded as well, I would say.
Yeah, like, do you not care that much about your cat?
Yeah, but also, it sounds like she may have seen one that he's already posted, but...
Yes.
The way you were just...
That's what I'm thinking. I think Leona's seen one 2 days ago and go, was that the one you put up, Philippe?
Yeah, if you want to bang on the head, Philippe.
Another 4 minutes went by. Philippe, I still have no cat, so I can't take picture.
Never taken a picture of his alive cat?
No. Or maybe he wanted an up-to-date one.
Said no cat owner ever.
But Philippe, having had a little bit of time to ruminate and think about all this, came up with, yet again, another logical answer.
Okay, I like him.
I will Google a similar one and post.
I love him.
Again, you're going to have to do a bit of searching, but the dead cat, if it's black and white and a certain look, then I'm thinking.
Certain look.
Yeah. So 5 minutes later...
Good grief, Mark. It's still going.
It's still going. This is the most humorous bit, and I wish this is when, if YouTube hadn't pushed off, I would have put this as a video version. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to... I'm going to read what Philippe said.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to show...
You're going to show... Is there a picture?
There's a picture.
Oh, he's found one.
So, Philippe said, like that, but cat. That's the picture he posted.
It's a collie dog.
A black and white border collie. Like that, but a cat.
I love him.
And I haven't got any more thread.
That is good. I love him. What more Philippe?
He's a black and white animal. I think we could maybe make Philippe a feature because I reckon there's going to be more gold
please
there.
Do. That is delightful. Work-life ballet, Mark. Accountability.
Yeah.
I said we trained this morning and we talked about accountability. I guess you were holding me accountable to kind of me going on my bike, which I've already mentioned.
Okay.
Weren't you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a slow drip, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, something happened this morning where I kind of realised that the accountability bit is a two-way thing. Accountability isn't just about someone going, have you done that? Have you done that yet? Because and this happened tonight, didn't it? Because I came in this morning to training and said, Mark, I've put on weight. I'm now 90 kilos. And I've been hovering around 85, 86 for quite a while, which I was happy with. And I was trying to get a bit more. I'm not happy, Mark. I'm sad.
Yes.
And do you know what I do? Do you know what I do when I'm sad, Mark?
Eat.
Yeah. I'm in a spiral, Mark. Help me. And you went, this is my point. You went, yeah, I did notice. The last few times I've come around your house, there's crisps.
Yeah.
Biscuits and takeaways.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, I knew you were observant, but didn't quite know how. And of course, that wounded me a little bit.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
Yep.
No, I did. Sorry, my intonation was wrong.
I don't know what to take from that intonation.
No, I can't help but be sarcastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I was wounded, but my point was, it was wounded because I know it's true.
Yeah.
And this might touch on the stuff we're going to talk about in...
It will. It's a very good introduction.
In Brain Food, about, are we being too nice?
Yeah.
And of course, I need to feel that. And I also need to be in a place where I can go, it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get arsy with you because it's my problem.
Yes.
I'm not going to be offended by that when you're absolutely right.
Yes.
And it's a two-way trust thing, isn't it? It's a two-way understanding. It doesn't matter how you said it, whether you were being sarcastic or just whatever. I felt it and went, oh God, yeah. And in terms of that accountability kind of two-way thing, that's a good system because I'm more likely to go away and do something.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel that again. Because when you go, oh, that's good, you've done well, or you give me a compliment, that's going to feel really good.
Yeah. And I think what you've brought up there, which I think is key, and this was going to be on what I said, was that to get accountability from other people, number one, their view has to matter. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that view will hurt.
To respect it, yeah.
Because I was thinking the week before, we did like a really big session on deadlifts, and your form was great, your lifting was great. You lifted, I think, the most you ever lifted, or at least equaled your PB. It was a really good lift. And everything about those lifts, I was complimenting you because you deserved it. So I think if you were hurt about me making that observation, I think it was me saying, probably we've come to the point where something needs to go to the next level.
Yeah, and I said it, the only reason it stung a bit, I feel ashamed of it, you know what I mean? You're absolutely right. I've got nowhere to go. I could sit there and make all sorts of excuses.
Yeah.
I'm sad. Well, I'm sad. But I have, but it's like, well, I can't be sad forever. I've got to do something about this.
Yeah.
I can still be sad and not eat that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I've just got to step up, and that's what we're talking about. You said your eating hasn't been, now the last couple of weeks it's been a lot better, or the last week or whatever.
It's literally.
But you're making a conscious effort to. Oh, you've had a bit of a lapse for the last 2 weeks, wasn't it? In terms of obviously what's happened in the last couple of weeks, and you're kind of coming out of that and going, right, I need to sort this out.
Yes.
No one's going to do it for me.
But I think the reason I wanted to bring accountability is I want to almost use this next 10 minutes, partly cathartic for myself, because I need I don't have anywhere else to go at the moment that will make me get out of this spiral of decline, because no one is going to say anything that is particularly more informative than I know. I'm not going to get someone who's going to go, well, I can actually give you even more nutritional advice than you've got, or I can tell you even more about sadness, or I can tell you even more about grieving.
Yeah,
and once you understand
those things, right?
So I'm an expert in the field of, sorry, that sounds precocious. I have a lot of knowledge in the field of nutrition, in the field of mental health, in the field of personal training, in the field of how the body works. And yet the last 2.5 weeks, I have got into a vicious downward spiral that has undermined all those, because the factor that has caused that decline, the death of a friend, has been so all-consuming. I haven't got to rock bottom. And when we talk about addiction, which I think we might do in coming weeks, I am a very firm believer that when you are in an addiction that we've discussed before that has dire consequences, even when it's dire, when I've had addictions that have been felt dire, the difference between that and rock bottom, it's still a long way. And it's the same way when people say about, there are people who are functioning alcoholic or functioning drug user. Yeah. The dire consequences you can manage. Your life can continue. You might be taking heroin or over drinking.
It's bad. There are dire consequences, but it's not. It's not the bottom of the bottom.
Yes. And rock bottom isn't necessarily like the worst scenario. It isn't going, I want to, I don't want to be alive anymore. Rock bottom can be a psychological position of going, I don't have the energy or the commitment or anything to continue this lifestyle.
Or could it be the bit where I've got to do the realization or the radical acceptance? You go, I've got to turn this around.
Yes.
Because there isn't another, or the other option is.
Yes. Yeah. And
radical, it is terminal,
Yeah. And radical acceptance is exactly as you said there. It's recognizing that, okay, life isn't fair, but that, it's getting on and understanding that, accepting the position you're in and doing something about it.
Yeah.
So I know, and I'm sure she isn't going to mind, because Amelia has had discussion with me, I'm positive she isn't going to mind about this, is that we had a discussion a couple of days ago, and we were talking about food, and we were talking about sadness, and we were talking about grieving, and we were both discussing Lewis, and she said, I haven't trained in 2 weeks, and I said, I haven't trained in 2 weeks. And she said, what are you eating? And I said, double-decker 4-packs and 150-gram bags of crisps and cookies and biscuits. And I said, what are you eating? She said, I haven't had a cooked meal for X number of days. Yeah. And in some ways, you could go, well, that's a natural reaction. You've had a devastating incident there is going to be reaction. Life is going to be different in terms of how you're feeling emotionally.
Yeah.
But halfway through this 2 weeks of in a way, self-destruction to a degree, I listened to the interview that you had with Miguel. He hinted on stuff that we know about the amygdala and the vagus nerve and the link with the gut. And I'm thinking, what I'm doing, I'm in an emotional state, and I'm what people might call emotional eating, isn't it? It's often like sort of described in those terms.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm doing is all my normal structures that maintain me had been abandoned. So my emotional mind, when we talked about the wise mind, didn't give wise mind or logical mind any opportunity to come in. So I stopped doing mindfulness. I stopped doing breathing exercises. So the destruction became some of those factors that would help me.
Even suspend the spiral.
Yeah.
Rather than add to it. Something to try and make it go back the other way.
Yes.
Was gone. So it's just going to keep, keep
so,
going.
So all those structures, so the planning element of having structure to your day, the not getting out of bed at the same time, not always writing everything down and just sort of going on the seat of your pants, not buying any decent food. So when it came to eating, it was like, go along to the garage.
Yeah.
What I'm saying about accountability is I don't think any of that behaviour is out of the ordinary. And I'm sure there's loads of people that have had emotional responses that have manifested themselves in eating.
Yeah.
And other people have done stuff manifested in drugs or alcohol or other destructive behaviours. But I think what I'm saying this, and this is why I want this to be cathartic, is I'm almost going to say on this podcast, I need a bit of accountability. So it was interesting when I was listening to Shag Married Annoyed, they were saying, both of them had done radio, and they said, speak on a podcast as if you're speaking to one person, which is quite an interesting. So I'm sort of speaking to the listener now and saying, I'm saying to you, I can't sustain living on crisps and chocolate. I don't want to live on crisps and chocolate. And I'm going to now reach out and make a statement that I'll hear myself say, and I'll listen back to this on Friday, and you'll remind me of it. And when I go to the supermarket after this now, I know I won't buy crisps and chocolate.
Yeah.
And I'll buy a meal. And that will be the first step.
It's like the better version of that time when you tell someone you've done something and then think you've done it and then go away and don't follow it up.
Yes.
This is the one where you're saying it out loud.
Yeah.
In a slightly different context.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
Because we'll all kind of follow it up going, so how is that going?
Yeah.
Or it's a little bit like you're writing down a food diary. Just knowing that you're going to have to write it down is often enough to stop you putting something in your mouth that you shouldn't be. Because you go, I've got to write that down later. I've got to look at it. It's going to be constantly reminding me all week. I remember the first day when I started training with you, I started writing the food diary. And I realised very quickly it wasn't about what I was writing. It was the fact I was writing it. Yeah. I spoke to a colleague at work today who started training this week. She's got to keep a food diary, exactly the same thing. Those times where she's got the opportunity to eat those things, but she's going, I don't want to write this down.
Yes.
So
and that's accountability, isn't it?
It's not about what you've written and then go over it. It's just that I've got to, and a bit like what I was saying about my stoma bag, that relationship with food is brought closer. Yeah, because you've got to think about it. It's a bit like maybe Mel Robbins' 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just to get you to kind of stop and just take that time. Yeah, maybe that's the mindfulness bit, isn't it? Being in the now. Maybe writing a food diary is almost like the mindfulness, isn't it? Slowing it down, stopping, thinking about it. Yeah. Sorry, that just kind of got me on.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was, I think this isn't a discussion of food. Food is just the vehicle that I'm using on this. I'm not trying to give some discussion about binge eating or emotional eating or trying to give advice.
It's just the thing that's happening now for you.
So, but what I'm also finding, which I suppose is relevant to nutrition, is that the effect, and again, what Miguel said, is that the effect that what I'm putting into my body is having on my body is perpetuating it. Yeah. So I know if I'm in my past life, if I've been unemployed and feeling lazy, I don't do stuff. I watch daytime TV and don't do stuff. Yeah. And the lazier I get, the lazier I get. And I think there is an element of that. And I'm thinking I'm feeding myself with stuff with very little nutritional value, a lot of processed stuff, a lot of chemicals, a lot of sugars that's giving me a high, then a bigger low. And it is self-perpetuating because after I've eaten a load of chocolate, all I want's a load more chocolate or crisps. Your
brain's getting the hit, isn't it?
Yeah. The brain isn't going to say, you've had shitty stuff, go and just eat broccoli and carrots. And it's quite interesting sometimes when you hear with people that got children and going, oh, he's a really fussy eater. You never hear of kids that only eat veg. Do you know what I mean? They'll only eat, sugars and fats. Yeah, right. So if they really are a fussy eater, surely one child would go, I only want to eat sweet corn, peas and little gem lettuce. But it doesn't happen, does it?
No.
So I think that is element that fussy eaters for children tend to be on the processed stuff because their brain's getting that reward.
You're the kind of person that probably won't expect, certainly me, to even bring it up. I might do. I might go just generally out of interest. How's the eating going? But I'm probably not one. But I don't think you need. You would just explain that's how you work. Saying it is enough. You're putting these pegs in the ground.
But I more than want you to go. How's it going?
Yeah, but I think you're good at. My point was, I don't think you need people to, or do you? I take you as a person. You saying it and putting your own kind of mental kind of stakes in the ground is enough to keep you going, because
but it's taken me 2.5 weeks to get here.
Right.
I could have reached out to you and go, I really need to stop doing this. I'm going to tell you where I'm at. I've chosen to do it on the podcast because I think it's also, the takeaway.
Probably
the wrong word. But
I'd love one. Shall I get it? My shout. Deliveroo? What do you want? Sorry. Let's crisp chocolate special, Mark.
Because they do that now on some of the delivery. It's like they basically go down to your local garage for you, don't you?
They'll do anything. You can get a Twix on delivery if you want.
Yeah.
Desperate times.
Or the 9 Twix, which is the bigger challenge of the last couple of weeks.
What, the 9 Twix? What?
You get 9 fingers in a packet, don't you?
Huh? 9? How does that work? There's only 2 in...
It's a bigger packet.
Well, there's only 2 in each one, Mark. How's that work? Are you talking 9 singles?
9 singles in a extended packet.
Me. Twix means 2, so it's 2, isn't it?
Single Twix is Twix is Latin for 2.
Yeah, talking about language.
Twix and tween. So
be twixt. Yeah. Anyway.
So the point I'm making is I'm using this as my accountability. Right. And you're right. I don't need to.
And our one listener, as you said.
Yeah. So I'm telling this person that I'm not happy with what I've been eating. I've done it for a reason. I understand the reason I've done it. I'm still grieving. I'm still really sad. But my ability to cope with that grieving and that sadness is not helped by me eating in the way I've been. So the wise mind decision is that if I'm better fed and I'm better hydrated and I'm more balanced in what I'm eating, the bigger issues such as mental health and dealing with grief and dealing with, things like a funeral coming up and, a whole host of things, I'm going to be in a much better position to do that. So this is a wise mind decision. So I'm just saying to the person who's listening, I've had enough of eating shit and now I'm going to do it and get back onto proper balanced diet and start building my body up, start training and get back to where I was. And I guess the takeaway item from this is around accountability is you have to find that person or that strategy that is going to work. It's no good making, as some people do, a sort of vague, you often get it, don't you, on Insta, I'm going to go on a diet. And it's like, no, you need to tell someone what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, what you're not going to do. So I'm saying now, I'm not going to buy chocolate and crisps. I am going to start eating well. I am going to start taking my medication and my supplements. And as soon as I'm recovered from my operation, I'm going to train 5 times a week. And I know I will do that. But the person you share it with has to be the person that accountability counts. Yeah. And I think I would like you to come back and go, how's that going?
You're on.
Cool.
Are we being too nice, Mark?
This is linked to what I've just said.
It is, yeah. We mentioned a couple of things. It's kind of a nice springboard to this.
I hadn't realised that there's actually a certificate in the nutrition world, and I should have got the exact name, but it's something like the Certificate for Intuitive Eating. Okay. I was interested in this concept, and I've been following some people, mostly in the States, to see what it means.
Right.
And I just have a slight concern over what I've read, is that one of the people that I've been following...
Should I give a definition?
Yeah, far away.
This is from Healthline. Intuitive eating is a philosophy of eating that makes you the expert of your body and its hunger signals. Essentially, it's the opposite of a traditional diet. It doesn't impose guidelines about what to avoid and what or when to eat. It teaches you are the best person, the only person to make those choices. Well, I could put a link up to this. It's got a bit more information on, but you can...
But the problem that I have
I think I know I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah. The problem I have is that I'm sure for some people, intuitive eating can be, and I'm sure there are people there who are nutritionists that can guide people.
Yeah, and we also kind of touched on the Miguel interview about but everyone's body's so different. You got to listen to your own body, understand what it likes, what it doesn't like.
Yeah.
But like this feels like this is a thread about when that just tips the balance.
Yeah,
it goes a little bit further down, down one avenue.
Just going back to what I said about food, there is that intuitively, I'm not knocking intuitive eating, because intuitively I know what I've been eating is wrong. It's like Miguel said about bread, about people saying every time I eat bread I get bloated.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
there's the intuitive thing is there.
Yeah.
But what I think I found quite scary is that one of the people I'm following in the States, I'm not going to say who she is because I don't think I'm not bad-mouthing her, I just find it.
Mm-hmm.
So she put up something today that says diet culture things created by men. And she's put 6 logos up, and underneath she's put, why are men telling us how we should look? So I guess she's taking this from a feminist perspective.
Yeah.
And the 3rd logo she's put up is MyFitnessPal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, firstly, I don't know that MyFitnessPal was created specifically by a man. It might have been, it might not have been. I'm sure there was a whole team developing the app.
Yeah.
And the app is there to allow you to record calories. And maybe that's against what intuitive eating is about.
Yeah.
But to dismiss it.
It's kind of, it was also, I don't think it was designed by men to tell women.
No, I think it's to tell people, this is how many calories are in a digestive biscuit. It isn't making judgments even. It isn't necessarily. Some people I go to MyFitnessPal to get bigger. So to come out with something that's basically going, it's sexist and, so that made me think maybe it's a little bit political. And then she put up this one and it said, this is what diet culture is. Diet culture is where you use portion control for everything you eat. So this is her words, not mine. Yeah. And she's shown a pizza and she said, if you eat past a tiny portion limit, you feel like a failure, and then you eat until you're painfully stuffed, which is like a fairly broad term.
Yeah, right.
If you're a diet rebel, you will honour hunger, fullness and satisfaction. You'll eat the amount of pizza that feels good and you'll move on guilt-free. Now, I reckon we're getting a bit simplistic here. So the next one is, you deserve to eat after you've worked out, hit a number of steps and been active all day. Fine, I don't like the word deserve. It's you eat because you stay alive. You also deserve to eat after you've Netflix and chilled all day, only walked 5 steps from your bed to your fridge and binged hours of TikToks. And I'm thinking we're putting it almost that it's almost like whatever activity you do, if you then want to eat,
so be it.
That's fine.
In some ways go, okay, I get that. You can do what you like, right?
Yeah.
If that's what your thing is. There's some things in there that kind of sounded quite kind of factual, quite sensible, but then you are getting into it's okay if you haven't moved an inch all day. You maybe have binged Netflix. It's okay to go and binge the fridge as well.
Yeah.
Countering all the things you've just said is kind of arguably slightly more sensible advice.
I think it's around the repercussions. It is fine.
Or she's
to do
saying
all
you
of
can
those
train
things.
and then go and eat all the things you shouldn't. I'm not quite clear what she's talking about with, if you go and have
I think what she's saying is no matter what you've been doing during the day, if you want to go and eat a pizza, that's fine.
Basically, eat what you like, do what you like, whenever you like.
Don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And I get this. I get the whole thing. I've just been talking about emotional eating. What I'm not saying is, no, you have to deserve food. I hated the word she used deserve there. I think that is wrong. Food is, you can either use it as a fuel, you can use it as a reward, you can use it as motivation, you can use it as just something to get through, whatever you use it.
Yeah.
The point I'm making about people being too nice is that I feel with this intuitive eating, if you constantly say, it doesn't matter what you've done, you want to eat, you eat. Because I don't want you feeling guilt about food. I don't want you feeling... And again, that is fine.
Yeah.
But if somebody is in a certain position...
Someone might take that verbatim, right?
Yes. And we have got an obesity epidemic.
Yeah.
So there is proof that for some people, managing their food to the levels they want to is a big task. And so I think this is just why I find this difficult, is that I would love people to be trained and understand food better and understand macros and the balances and how you have to be hydrated. But when I'm reading these, it's almost like, whatever you've done, eat whatever you want. You know you best. Yeah. But people come to a PT. So the point I was going to link back to you, and it isn't a judgment, and I don't want you feeling bad just because I come in and...
I'm ready.
You've obviously had chips again.
Nothing.
the bottle of vinegar as I walk in the back door.
Yeah. I immediately want to go, that's the first time I've had chips from the chip shop in a long time, and it's true, but I'm feeling, I'm on the defensive already.
Yeah, but that isn't what I want. What I want is, you mentioned today, and you mentioned on the podcast that you put weight on. I'm guessing in the way you mentioned it, you would rather not be 90 kilos.
Yeah, correct.
What I'm saying is, if my response is, you've had a hard time at work recently. Just eat what you feel's good. I don't want you feeling guilty about food from the fit chip shop. That doesn't solve your dilemma.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there are nutritionists out there that are able to use intuitive eating to help solve that dilemma. What I'm saying is, as we've discussed, there can be balance. It isn't an either or. And if it's counting calories and that works, and you want to be a certain weight because you feel better about yourself and your clothes feel, and that's what you want to be, I think a personal trainer needs to have that approach.
Yeah,
and it might be different for the next person I see.
Yeah.
And this is the takeaway I'm saying, is that so many people out there nail their colours to one mast. So it's intuitive eating. It can't be that everyone in the world does intuitive eating.
No, you're right.
It can't be everyone in the world does calorie counting.
But people have eating disorders.
Yes.
They haven't got a choice.
Yes.
Have they?
And so they have to be looked at individually.
That's actually not intuitive. It's a reactionary reflex, or just a condition. It's a disorder, isn't it? It's something they have a choice to change.
Yeah. But
no matter how hard
it suddenly worried me that if the tagline in your Instagram is intuitive eating, certificate, and that's what you're going to teach, if someone comes to you that might benefit more from calorie deficit, do you go, sorry, I can't help you because you'd be much better off doing this? Or do you try and squeeze a round peg into a square hole to make them go, well, you could be intuitive eating? And I think I suddenly realised, and this is my confession time here, is I realise I have too much of the PT that I'm doing has my personal bias in it. The exercises that I'm teaching people are exercises I like doing, and they're not necessarily always right. So one of the things I've learned from this is that I need to expand. So I never do burpees with anyone because I hate burpees.
Good.
I don't rate them. Very few people like
That's
them.
why I come to you. It was on your leaflet.
But they are an option. And the fact I do them for not a single person I'm with can't be right. There will be some people that would either like to do burpees or would benefit from them. I still don't rate burpees, but
there you go.
Do you know what I mean? That's the point.
You can still have the opinion. That's the thing.
But I think you have to give the option. What I don't want to do is someone go, this is the only way.
You're aware of it. Some people aren't even aware of it, won't even bring it up or reference it. But I think, we both had that period of time, whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks or 6 weeks, where what's happened. And I think it served a purpose. Something you just said a minute ago felt like, no, it served a purpose. Your couple of weeks. Yeah. You didn't, nobody chose that. No. It served a purpose. Yeah. Circumstance.
Yes.
Whatever you say, your body's arguably needed that in some way.
Yeah.
It's coping mechanism or whatever it is. But then you also realise, well, you're very likely to continue to be sad and continue to grieve.
Because of how I'm eating. It's going to add to it or prolong it.
I think it doesn't matter what you're eating, you're still going to feel down about what's happened. I guess we're both in that space for whatever different reasons. We've both gone, my eating isn't going to change what's happened or change what is happening or change what is going to happen. But I also don't want that to add to, if things aren't great anyway, I don't want a bad diet adding to my problems. You just almost come out of that realisation, well, something's got to happen. You get to a junction, don't you? Go, something's got to happen here.
Yeah. It's a fork in the road, isn't it?
It's not easy, because if it was, we'd all just have done it. So, I think it's probably half the battle, isn't it? Realising it, accepting it, and, then telling someone is another step along that, isn't it?
And that's the original, you put your finger on it there. It's the bit that we just said at the beginning about being too nice. It's you now brought up that you'd like to lose some weight, so this is going to be your accountability a bit. We know from having worked together, the things that work well for you are more carrots than sticks. Well, more carrots than chips. More carrots than Twix. That would have worked. Yeah, I'm going to send that to intuitive eaters. But I think there's a bit of a learning lesson here. So you've already mentioned things in this podcast today about food diary that had something. So that's something we might consider. I think calorie counting, I don't think necessarily in the past it's been something where you've gone, I need to do this every day. But we might look at certain foods and go, do you know this is going to be disproportionately high in calories?
Thinking about writing it down as the single most impactful thing.
Yeah, and then the accountability could be that we're going to say, instead, like today, we had a fairly brief discussion.
The bike, it didn't really feel good. We had everything went wrong before we went for a bike ride, and it was to the point I almost jacked it in. It was like nothing was going wrong, but we did it, and I've had the taste for the bike again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we might put that in within.
Yeah.
So it might be useful. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this a bit too far now. But if I'm basically saying I'm going to change my diet as of this evening, and I could maybe just do little reports back on this in the pod,
we both can.
And that's what I was going to say for you. I don't think this is going to be Damo's going to lose 5 kilos and this is his diet. What we're going to do is look at life and how you get where you want to be.
Yeah. We do have a very tiny email from our resident army captain.
Yeah. I don't think I got a personal one this week. I've got a feeling, unless I didn't.
We can't expect that from our listeners. Can you? A personal email every week. Hi, Damo Mark. The sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled hooray wrong, but, you know.
The sun has got his hat on. We're coming out to play.
Is that what the words are?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird song, that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The sun has got his hat on.
You wouldn't get the benefit then, would you? It's wearing a hat.
He said, this is counter to what you said at the beginning of this pod, which I have to concur with you, Mr. D, on farts.
If I was a betting man, I would put a fiver on him going on yours. Yeah.
The old army humour.
Yeah.
And he said, Miguel was brilliant. Thank you for your educational public broadcast. Do you have any mailbag? Do you have any feedback? No.
I've had a few people going, get back to twice a week. I said, I'll pass by Damien. I think he's fairly flexible on that.
Legit,
yeah.
I was going to put something on Instagram, do a little poll, see what people thought. Everything I put on Instagram just asking for feedback. No one's.
We've got a quiet group. This is a shout out on, and I keep saying shag, married, avoid, but annoyed.
Yeah, I know it's third time now in this pod.
They have a lot of, I guess, because they got over 100,000 followers rather than 43. But
I think they also have about
they're top, aren't they?
10 million plays a month or something stupid.
I listened to one today and they got an email from someone. So I went back to the beginning. So this was episode 3 and this person said, I want to claim to be the first person that was having sex whilst listening to your podcast.
That's grim.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just putting that out there.
Oh, right. I see.
But no, it's just like as a claim to fame. Even they were going.
We shouldn't tell anyone we have sex while we're doing it, while we're recording it. Should we? What?
You're terrible.
I've got to fill the mailbag section with something. Oh, that sounds a bit weird.
Yeah. No.
So none of the feedback. I haven't got anything else.
No.
We could finish on time if you like.
Yeah. I don't think I ever showed you the TikTok. You know, we were saying about how they listen to this so much, TikTok, like ridiculously.
Yeah.
And I'm aware, again, the irony of me being startled and going to you, fuck.
You're constantly surprised, aren't you?
Like they're listening to her.
Every time.
But this was within an hour of you posting it.
Right.
I watched the TikTok at like 6 a.m. You put it up at 5.
Right.
And about the 4th video it showed was a guy talking about, it was almost like a little poem about not weeing in the water in a toilet, but on the sides.
You sent me that.
Did I? There's another one.
It was brilliant.
That is mad.
But we weren't talking about peeing in the toilet.
No, we did. I talked about my mum. I think you even. I think you cut it out. I think you cut it out. But there was some reference.
This was a long time ago, talking about
but
how your
said
mum.
About it
we've talked
recently.
about toilet matters, haven't we?
Yeah.
And things that are stuck from your pet, and it was you mentioned that your mum.
I think when you said
wanted
about
you
farts,
to be a quiet. No, we definitely kept that in about your mum. Sorry, I'm pointing my pen at you. I'm trying to.
That does remind me of my mum.
Sorry. But yeah, we definitely kept that in about you not being allowed
water on water.
Yes,
it had to be the side.
Had to hit the side of the pan to not make a noise because you didn't like the noise. We've definitely kept that in.
Yeah, but I'm wondering whether you gave your fart stuff and I either made some aside to you about when
TikTok isn't listening to our pod, is it?
Yes.
How's it doing that?
What the fuck? Of course it is.
You don't play it out loud to TikTok, do you? You don't play your thing. It's on your headphones.
My microphone's on now. My TikTok microphone is on.
Oh, right. It's just because it's listening to us right now, not
all the videos
to the edited podcast or the way that. Yeah, well, it's going to come up with more stuff, isn't it? If it's recording us now.
Yeah, but it's the point I'm trying to make is the algorithm. I can get it if I say faxing denial, masks are shit, or the one we did about socks.
That's another one bad banned.
TikTok wouldn't ban us. They love that we're undermining Western society.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah.
Maybe
that's it. Maybe we just mentioned TikTok too much.
Yeah.
And YouTube, we got the ump.
No, the point I'm making is we are being listened to, but why is the algorithm set to go like pick up if someone says they don't pee in the water in the bowl?
Yeah.
And you'll go, well, they're picking up everything. But how does that become then send him a video of someone talking about that same thing?
Yeah.
Why does that?
I don't know, Mark. I haven't got the answers to everything. Sorry. I know you come here with all these questions.
But I don't
by
get
now
why.
you must realise I don't have the answer.
Oh, I'm getting frustrated. This is as frustrated as people walking across the common
okay,
with masks on today.
Yeah, I see people on their own in cars wearing masks. It's brilliant.
But sit in let
walking across the park.
Yeah.
We were talking about this morning about how masks are giving people problems. We were talking about lack of oxygen, weren't we?
Yeah.
In blood.
Yeah, and I had my pre-op assessment and my oxygen was quite
low.
And the woman said, we're getting this a lot because people having to wait for their assessments in the waiting room with a mask on.
The mask on, yeah.
So what it's doing for people in the NHS or shops with 8 hours a day. And my O2 is still low. I don't think it is because of the masks personally, but the nurse went, we're finding a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
get some fresh air, everybody.
Get some fresh air and vitamin D.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Last thing.
Okay.
The results of the vitamin D research that the government have funded.
Oh yes.
Will come out. This is my prediction. Will come out at the end of the summer.
Right. Yeah.
Because if they come out now, and COVID as it is, the deaths are now in single figures.
Yeah.
If they go on, well, yes, it's because of vitamin D. So what? This is my prediction. In May and June, there will be more about open air, fresh air, space, and there'll be the odd reference to vitamin D.
Yeah.
And then when we get towards the end of the autumn, they're going, actually, this research says might be worth just having a bit of supplements. So then as we go into the next, whatever they do next winter, whether it's a lockdown or whatever, and people are taking vitamin D, the good effects of it will then kick in.
Yeah. So they want the benefit.
They'll get the benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they can't admit, because if they come out now and go, vitamin D is great for you, and if they say it, if they actually
it will work, but they won't be the saviours, will they?
No, but it then contradicts. Why didn't you find this out a year ago? Yeah, that was the whole thing. They can't. They need it to work and people to take it, but they can't go, this would have been a panacea in the past. It's like, give it a little go. That's what they'll say. And the other final thing is that their recommended dose will be massively higher than it is now. Right. So there's you can bring me back on those. I'll be accountable.
Yeah, well, yeah. What do you want to talk about next week, Mark?
Well, you were going to do some crisp reviews, ironically, weren't you?
I can do those now very quickly.
Do those very quickly. Just because I saw them on Insta.
You're right.
Oh, just while you're finding them, do you know you can get Space Raiders as a frozen potato?
Frozen potato what?
Snack.
So I talked about the beef ones. That's what kicked it off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Frozen potato snack. Beef-based
Space Raiders.
I'm all over that. Well, it's not. It's against my eating thing. Is it healthy or not?
Let me just go. Beef flavoured Space Raiders.
Yeah, is it healthy or not, Mark? I just want a yes or no. Don't need to repeat it back to me.
Intuition. You should know.
Sounds yummy.
Cow flavoured.
Yeah, not beef. So my first review, crisp review, very quickly. You're not going to bang on, but it was the Pringles sizzling spicy barbecue flavour, which is on the end aisle. I got caught on one of those special offers. Absolute sucker. So on the packaging, it's it's a Pringle with flames coming off it and little kind of potato horns, suggesting it's got it's a little
devilment,
edgy, spicy. They weren't
horny.
Definitely weren't.
No.
So they're a little bit disappointing.
Okay.
I think they weren't very spicy. They weren't particularly, just really a real letdown. Is my review.
Yeah, that's.
I'd give them.
I think this could take over from Life Hacks.
I'd give them 3 out of 5 crunches.
Okay.
And then these are from Better Foods. They're about £9 a packet, right? We've got Better Food offers at the office.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It isn't Better Food. It's just different packaging, isn't it?
It's expensive food.
Yeah.
There are these crisps called Amazing. It's very Bristol. Amazing. Organic nacho corn chips. Gluten-free as well, which is important. That packaging looks shit, doesn't it?
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be really bland.
Yeah.
But they are good. Really, really good. Nice kind of cheesy powder, not too overpowering cheese. I don't like kind of the tortilla kind of corn chips that are really hard. They're kind of quite delicate on the tongue. Is that a bit better for a review? You're looking at me like I'm an absolute idiot. Right. Anyway, so I'd give them 4 crunches out of 5, Mark.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 4 something different.
Look, I've just done this on the hoof. All right.
Any more?
Talking about cows.
Dreading to ask. You did do a third one, didn't you?
No, I didn't. That was it. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
But the first and last crisp review we ever
Yeah.
do. That's it for this episode. Well done for getting this far, and thanks for listening. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at I'mFinecast, and send your feedback and ideas to imfinecast@gmail.com. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, because that'd be really nice of you. And tell a friend or two. Fully special prize in the next episode.
Yeah, we're going to, we alluded to this a few weeks ago. I think we've alluded to this for a while, really, around mental health. I don't think I'd feel comfortable talking about a serious subject with us banging on about
Arsing
dead cats
around,
beforehand and then shit crisp reviews after. So I think...
Excuse me? That's way too soon.
So I think what we've talked about a number of mental health issues, and we're going to talk about borderline personality disorder. We'll give a full explanation about why we're doing it. And I think it'll probably be, from what I've been looking into, probably 3 or 4 shortish episodes. Mm-hmm. And there's a number of reasons, and we'll do this in episode 1 while we're covering it. It's a very important issue that's very misunderstood. Mm-hmm. And I think I'd like to give a sort of background to what it is, a background to how it manifests itself, and then some very, very clear indications of where people can go for advice or help or support.
Yeah. Good idea.
So that's going to be the sort of meat. But as I say, I think we might even put it out as an individual thing, but that's definitely something. And I think if people either know about it or would like to know more about it, or there's other people, and this isn't like, get more people to listen to us, I wouldn't be that callous, but it's, I think I would like to raise awareness of it. So if there's people listening, who find this relevant, if they do spread the word.
Great. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
See you then.
Take care all.
Bye.